What is up, guys? The LA Gamer here, and today I am bringing you guys episode 3 of my MLB 17 The Show fantasy draft franchise. In the last episode, we played game 1 of the season against the Chicago White Sox. Now, that was an away game, so I figured the next game I should show you guys will be our actual home opener of the season against the Boston Red Sox. We will have Trevor Bauer on the mound, and we will be going up against Doug Fister. Here's a look at our lineup. Once going up against Doug Fister, so you got Trey Turner, D. Gordon, Stanton, Carter, Peterson. I mean, this lineup's looking pretty good right now. Obviously, still early in the season, we still got a lot of energy. We'll still be ready to go. Now for the opposing team's lineup, they have a few star hitters. You see Charlie Blackmon, Bryce Harper, Anthony Rizzo. That's really the big part of the lineup that I'm worried about. Obviously, a lot of those guys are left-handed hitters, especially the big hitters on the team are left-handed hitters. So putting a righty on the mound does have me a little bit nervous for this game, but I do feel confident that we can come out here and get a win as long as we find a way to avoid giving up big hits to Rizzo and Harper. Obviously, those are the main guys in our lineup. Those are the guys I'm most worried about. Now, real quick, I want to give a shout out. I did just do a Legends fantasy draft on this channel. If you guys are interested in fantasy drafts and you guys are interested in seeing Legend MLB players, then please go check out that draft. I'll have a link to it in the description. And that will be another fantasy draft series I got going on. So I just figure more content for you guys, but whatever you guys want to watch. So either way, we're going to be the home team, so we'll be pitching first. You see the first at bat of the game for them. They will be hitting the ball to our third baseman. That's an easy line out for our third baseman to catch. Now the second at bat of the game, you see D. Gordon trying to make a diving grab. Takes him a while to collect his motions though, and he's not able to throw it onto first before the runner gets there. So that will be a single to start the game for them. Now that guy on first does happen to steal second base, but we get Bryce Harper to pop out here. So now, 2 outs with the runner on second. Can we get the last out of the inning? We cannot. This is another struggle of a pitching game. Same thing that happened last game. That first inning comes back to bite us. The tough thing about being a pitcher, you throw one bad pitch, it really can mess up your whole entire flow of the game. So we messed up on that curveball, threw it right over the plate for a star hitter like Rizzo. That's just not something you can do. And he's going to crack that one out of the ballpark to give them a 2-0 lead. But luckily, we will get the very next out on the very next batter by firing that ball over to first, and that will be the third out of the inning. So the bottom of the first, here we come up to bat, trying to get a few hits. You'll see we will do just that as Trey Turner knocks one right back up the middle for the first hit of the game from our the very first hit of the game for us, out of the very first batter of the game for us, which will be Trey Turner. So next up, we got D. Gordon here, laying down a nice little bunt to second base. Good enough to advance Trey Turner to second, not good enough to get D. Gordon safe at first. But that's all right. The whole goal of that move was just to get Trey Turner free and move him into scoring position just for a situation like this, because I knew Stanton has a tendency to ground the ball out for me for some reason. So right here, either way, Chris Carter's going to get a full swing bunt, and just watch this play closely. It takes the pitcher a long time to collect his motions. He does not throw it and get Carter out at first, and because of that, we score from second with Trey Turner on a full swing bunt. So a very, very interesting way to score our first run of the ball game, and our very first run of the series, actually, when I think about it, because we got shut out in the last game. It will be off a full swing bunt by Chris Carter. But something I want to emphasize real quick, on that note of Stanton grounding out a lot, for some reason for me, Stanton is just not hitting the ball at all. Every single swing, he just whiffs it. It's a ground ball. It's a miss hit. I just really have not been able to make too much solid contact with him. I played a few more games past this game, though. I do have to admit, things do get a little bit interesting. For those of you who are going to keep track with the series, the games do get a little bit more interesting. But right here, we're going to throw another high and inside fastball, and this looked like a very good pitch. It was exactly where I wanted it to be, and that's exactly where his cold zone was, but he does happen to get a hold of that ball, and we go down 4-1 in the second inning. I'm not fully worried. I mean, a 3-run deficit's never something that you want to be in, but it is only the second inning. Plenty of time for us to try to catch back. So right here in the bottom of the fourth, we're going to try to do just that. Right here, we're starting off the inning with an absolute drive by Chris Carter, but once again, similar to last game, Carter's going to drive one to dead away center field, but it won't be good enough for a hit as the center fielder will be there. Regardless, though, the very next at-bat, we will get a hit as Jock Pearson drills one off the pitcher, good enough to bounce off and get us to first base. The very next batter, though, I believe this is Joey Gallo. I believe that was him. He's going to strike out. Actually, no, this is Gallo. I don't know. Oh, no, that was Joe Mauer. Joe Mauer's going to hit a double to left center field gap. Good enough to get Jock Pearson home from first base. The cool thing about Jock is he does have a lot of power, but he's also not a slow player. That 72 speed is definitely an asset to have on the team. Sadly, though, that will be the only run we score this inning, as we are going to hit a chopper over to third base. Good enough for them to throw it on over to first and get us out of the inning, but we'll still put a run up, and that's good enough to me. So either way, they're going to come back here, though, and try to get some runs on their own. You see they're going to start off the inning pretty strong with no outs. They're going to crank one to the left center field, And you know Detroit Tiger Stadium, I believe it's called Comerica Park. It's got a huge little angle back there, and if you hit that gap, it's pretty easy to get a triple. And they're going to do just that. Luckily, though, we will get this line out to third base to get the first out of the inning. I tried to dive over to third, get that double play, but I was not able to do so. The very next at-bat, Bryce Harper will hit this fly ball to right field, and I tried to get into that little zone where I could throw a missile to home plate, but for some reason, I got that weird animation right there where he just started running back and forth, but never actually caught into the animation where he would go into a throw. So luckily, I'm just glad Stan even ended up catching that. But we will bounce back against Rizzo, getting him to strike out on that fastball looking. But either way, Trey Turner's going to come back here and crank a home run to right field to start the 8th inning. So that will put us only down by 2 runs with still a couple of innings left to try to tie this ball game. So Trey Turner obviously having a very good year. I feel like every single time I go up to bat with him, I feel pretty confident in my chances to hit the ball. Sadly, though, that will be our only run of the inning. So we're moving on now to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's going to start off with a nice little swing here from Jock Peterson, but not good enough to leave the infield as the first baseman will get under that ball, run over to first, and get the very first out of the inning. So right here, we do need to rally a little bit, and we will get 1 run right here as Joey Gallo is going to crank another one even further than Trey Turner did. He just figured he's going to one-up him a little bit. He's trying to get some recognition from the managers, and obviously I was paying attention because that was an absolute bomb to right field. So we're going to try to continue off that momentum. As right here, Joe Mauer is going to crank one into right field, but sadly the right fielder will get underneath that to get us out. So with 1 out left in the game, we're going to hit one over to the shortstop, and obviously not good enough to leave the infield, not good enough to earn us a base hit, and we just did not play good enough to win us the game. So we're going to end up losing that game 5-4, and I know you guys are going to say stuff like, oh my goodness, we've only had 2 games, we lost both of them, but I gotta play the realism, as right here, the left fielder humps the center fielder in the head. I gotta play some realism. You're not gonna win every game, and this team's still struggling a little bit. I'm still trying to get used to it. But like I said, I've already played a few games in advance, and not trying to spoil anything. Things do get a bit more interesting, though, and I think you guys will really enjoy if you do happen to keep updated. Either way, though, if you guys enjoyed, please click that like button below. Make sure to comment your opinion of this series and this game specifically, and tell me what you thought about it. And lastly, subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned to this series and other series I got going on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.